Well, before I want you to hear what a headliner really sounds like. This is our favorite part of the show.
Oh.
Well, I'd say it's up there, 1 and 2, with the last 10 minutes of the show. But this part I love. This is where we give you the news from our vantage point. It's miserable men, and it's the miserable news with your lead anchor, the Reverend Bob Levy.
And now it's time for Miserable Men News with your anchorman, Bob Levy.
Malaysian man pulls train with teeth. A Malaysian man nicknamed King Tooth has pulled a 7-couch train using a steel rope clenched in his mouth in the attempt to set a new world record for the heaviest weight pulled with teeth. Grunting and gasping, Rata Kriskin and Valu's neck muscles strained and his face contorted Thursday as he hauled the nearly 328-ton train over more than 9 feet along the track at the railroad station in Kuala Lumpur. The feat was
actually better than I thought he was going to do.
The feat was being submitted to the Guinness World Records, said Rakesh's manager, Anna Chidamukaba. What the fuck is that? Dozens of onlookers clapped and chanted, Masaseka Bulaki, whatever. When Rakeshaka sat down and pulled the train, holding bolt tracks from support and pushing his booted feet against the wooden rafters to propel himself backwards. Rashesh, who partially attributes his strengths to an Indian form of meditation, pulled the train 9 feet, 2.2 inches in the first attempt. His second and third attempt resulted in the train moving 2 feet, 4.7 inches, and 8 feet and 1.6 inches. An exhausted Rakeshikaman spoke only briefly to reporters, saying that in addition to the meditation exercises, he does jaw training daily. And I have one more.
The only thing I got out of that story was it happened on a Thursday.
Okay, you ready? Shrimp boat captain delivers baby at sea. When the cook of a shrimp boat went into the local 30-mile offshore, Captain Ed Kissel grabbed a new roll of paper towels and first aid handbook and did the best he could. He successfully delivered Cindy Presel's baby boy, even though the baby's feet emerged first. I'm no doctor, but even I know that's not supposed to happen, Kiesel said. I reached with my fingers as gently as I could and popped out his left shoulder and then his right, he said. But then the little guy was stuck by the head, being strangled, so I did the only thing I could. I waited for the contractions and then slid my fingers in around the top of his head and scooped him out. But the newborn wasn't breathing, so Kiesel gently administered CPR. I started giving mouth-to-mouth, 3 short puffs, and then dumping and rubbing its back, he said. The baby began to take short breaths. And after 20 to 25 minutes of CPR...
What does CPR mean?
CPR, it says.
What is CPR? CPR. What is CPR? What does it stand for?
Can't push retards.
That's it.
Gulp in ear. His lips turned rosy and then he started crying. I was so happy and relieved, Cindy Purcell said. It's hard to put into words. Kiesel used net twine to sterilize in boiling water to tie the umbilical cord.
Nice.
And cut the newborn free from its mother. Friends waited at the dock in Freeport, about 55 miles south of Houston, and with bottles and baby clothes. Presel's named the baby Brian Edward Mahu, after his father and the captain who delivered him. The baby wasn't due until mid-September. Kiesel said the boat, which set out for Fort Myers, Florida on July 15th, will head up to the Gulf of Mexico again on Friday. The newborn's father, Brian Mahu, will continue on the deckhand, but Pressel planned to stay with family. We set out with crew of 3, and we come back with a crew of 4. we're not going too much we're not getting too much new blood in the shrimp industry, so I guess we have to manufacture our own.
Very nice. Bob, congrats. Come on, standing ovation.
All right.
Standing ovation for lead anchor.
Bob, do you realize there's a letter between G and I? Toot, mouth.
Katie Couric, look out.
Oh, I don't understand.
No, you did great.